From Montgomery to Hale, Green County and Paris, Portia taking on the black belt, and she ain't scared. Marengo County, something county, Will, Cops, and Barbara. Interviewing everybody, sister, brothers, and mamas. It's Portia.
Hi, this is Portia from Portia Takes on the Black Belt. We're getting ready to go in here and talk to the first African American as well as the first female superintendent for Hale County School System. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show, and we'll be back. We're live here in Hale County in Greensboro, actually talking to the first African American and female superintendent in Hale County, Mrs. Osie Pickens. How you doing, Ms. Pickens?
I'm doing great, Ms. Shepherd, and how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. So I just wanted the people, for those people who don't know you, just give them a brief, so now you know where you're from, how did you get started in education, and then at the point of the level that you're on now.
Okay. It's a pleasure for me to share. I'm from Hale County. I'm a native, and I think that's a very important piece, that I'm at home, that I can serve. I've always believed in giving back, and I learned early on that I wanted to be a teacher. So I started my profession as a teacher. I graduated very early in school. Matter of fact, I graduated when I was 15 from a Hale County school.
Wow.
Went on to college when I was 16. Majored in elementary education. And after elementary education, I wanted to do a little bit more. So I became certified as a psychometrist. Still wanted to do a little bit more.
Oh,
so
boy.
I became certified
Overachiever.
as a principal, as in administration. And of course, I've served in several areas of education, which I think have been building blocks to where I am today. So I have served in the elementary department, secondary principalship, special education director, as interim superintendent, and currently today serving as the superintendent of Hale County Schools. And I always say that in order for this position to be successful, I think you need to go through the doors of being a high school principal.
Okay.
Because it is so different from any other field in education.
Wow.
When you get to this level. I know a lot of people look for ones with doctorates or what have you, but I think one very important criteria is to have had the experience of a secondary principal.
Wow.
And I say that because when you compare the two, I always say that you can usually motivate elementary children with, a smiley face or something like that. But when you get to the secondary level, it's just totally different. But I truly enjoy what I do here. I still try to be creative and innovative because it's all about the students.
Yes, ma'am.
And I do want our students to be prepared when they leave us. So when I go out into the schools, I try to give the students a little speech about how important an education is and to have one of three choices when they leave our system. I do not want our students that once they graduate from us, that they do not walk into one of three doors.
Right.
So we try to instill this in our students, and we try to get them to think about this and start preparing their future as early on. So I think that Hale County, we have made quite a few changes.
Right.
I think our students are doing well, and we look at our statistics, and when we compare ourselves to some other districts, and especially as small as we are and with our poverty level, we think that we are doing a great job, but we do feel we can do better.
Right.
So we always strive to do better.
Now, one of the things that you say, I was under you briefly.
Yes.
Before leaving school, and you were what we consider a tough principal. You ain't playing the game. How is it that you can instill what it is? How you took Akron when you came into Akron, and how you took Akron before you left the level that Akron became. Akron already had great teachers and already had students, but it was something different about how you instill the importance of that, and how do you use what you did there to get to your other principals so they can be on their level as well?
Well, first of all, we have to make sure that the students are our top priority.
Yes, ma'am.
And we always have to, and I tell people, let's make it personal with the children. That is, whatever it is that you would like to have for your children, we need to do the same for other children.
Yes, ma'am.
And I instill in them that we are the last hope for a lot of our students. So what we try to do, and one of the things that we do, is to try to make everyone accountable.
Yes, ma'am.
And I always say, let's be fair, firm, and consistent in whatever we do. So we have to work very closely with students, get to know the students first, to build those relationships with students so that they can be comfortable with us, so that when they have issues or what have you, they are comfortable that they can come to us. So I know that at Akron we had so many issues, and one of the things that I first learned was about a zero mastery. Never heard of zero mastery before with test results.
Oh, wow.
Until Akron. So I knew we had to do something to dig really deep into data.
Okay.
And we still do that today.
Okay.
Because when you dig deep into data, you analyze your data, you need to know exactly where students are. And when you know where they are, then we write this prescription so that we can help students, because they're at different levels. So we have to meet their needs. And so what we do now, we have what we call our data binders, that everyone has one, even the students, so they can plot their own data, because the curriculum now is very, very rigorous than before. And a lot of our parents don't understand the new curriculum with the Common Core and what have you. So once we get our students to understand, they become teachers for their parents to help them to understand this is what we're doing at school. So we don't just send it home to parents and they don't know what's happening. So we try to do as much as we can with the students while they're at school.
What you got the results? You know, the recent failing school list came out. You had a lot of people, of course. I don't know if you do social media or not, but a lot of people were confused about that. Like, listening to what you're saying about what you expect from your students as well as your schools, getting those results. Can you talk about what those results were, and what are the steps that parents can feel comfortable knowing that this will not happen again?
Well, you know, what happened, one of the things when they came out with the failing school criteria, you had to have 6 years of data.
Okay.
And we did not have that initially. And even though we were improving, then we had to fill those gaps. So it would take us some years. But then the criteria changed, and now it depends on each year of data. So each school stands on its own each year.
Because if you had someone that wasn't performing as well beforehand, the new person was taking into account for what someone did previously.
That's right. But if you were allowed to have, they would look at your 3 best years out of 6 years.
Oh, okay.
So you did have a cushion, so that if you had a bad year, what have you. But we never had all of our years.
Gotcha.
So that was a problem for us.
Okay. What? What as far as data goes, what about education wise, as far as parents feel comfortable? You know, you hear things all the time. Oh, they ain't teaching them children nothing. No, you hear that all the time. They hear that when I was in school. Yes. But what do you say to those people that is that accurate here in the Black Belt, that these teachers are not teaching these kids? That's why they don't perform well. What is the difference? What is that difference?
I can only speak for Hale County.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We teach every day.
Okay.
Every day, we teach. How do I know? Because I observe my schools. I go into my schools.
Wow.
And I am satisfied with what I see in my schools. And the students are very, very respectful when I go into the schools.
That is true.
And I want to build those relationships so students know that I care, that not just the superintendent and not know me. So I go into all of my classrooms. I can't get into the schools as much as I would like to. And when I don't go and the students will see me, they say, Ms. Pickens, I haven't seen you. So they do expect me in the schools.
Wow.
So one of the things, again, building those relationships, letting them know that I care. And working with the teachers, we do a lot of professional development.
Okay.
We mentor our new teachers.
Good.
We have our professional learning communities. They have their own team meetings, what have you. We have our data rooms that we look at, not just the academics. We look at our attendance, their behavior. We look at all of that. And one of the things that's really, really impressive was the challenge that principals had to ride the school bus for one day to get a feel of what that was.
Really?
Well, it wasn't new to me because I did it when I was a high school principal. I knew where every one of my
And you
students,
greeted us every day at the bus stop. I remember that.
That's right, because you never know
That's true. You
what
did.
they're going through. And so you want to welcome students to school every day.
You did do that.
And so we want to do that. So it's the little things that really build into what's important that students don't forget. And becomes an important part of their lives.
Do you feel that your connection between the parents and yourself is open? Do you feel that?
I feel like they know that I'm here.
Okay.
And if I get a call, I try to always return my calls. Sometimes it's late because some I'm surprised with, oh, you still at work? Yes, I'm still at work. And I try to, and inadvertently sometimes I might miss one and I feel bad because of the time that has lapsed.
Yes, ma'am.
But I try to return all my calls. I try to build those relationships with the parents. And whenever I see them, I try to make sure that I have a conversation with the parents.
When the talk of combining going into one school in the system, and Sunshine closed, which was a good school, and Akron was a good school, and they closed, and those kids were spread between Moundville and Greensboro. You had a lot of frustration, and anytime when you're talking about merging and disenfranchising, all that stuff happening, you're going to have opposition.
Yes.
How do you think that process has improved since it initially took place?
Well, change is hard for anyone. So you have to look at the total picture, just like I believe in educating the total child. We were doing so little for all of our students because we weren't really getting enough funds to operate the number of schools that we had.
Yes, ma'am.
And we want our children to have a quality education. So instead of stretching the funds and doing so little, let's not come together and take these funds so everyone can get something. And that was the important piece that I was looking at, doing more for students. And by doing that, it allowed us to be more efficient and effective with our funds and in educating our children.
Now, one thing you said earlier, you talked about the behavior of the students in the school. And Greensboro usually get a bad rap. And I've been in both Greensboro school and I've been in both the Hale County and Moundville schools.
Yes.
I personally don't see the difference other than skin color of the students.
That's all you're going to see.
And that's just my personal opinion, and that's just me being in the classroom, just talking on the level of domestic and sexual violence. I've seen that. If someone watching this video and they're trying to relocate to the Hale County area, because you see that traffic is coming down this way, what could they expect from any school that they apply for in your system?
Any school. That's it. It doesn't matter. So you don't have to try to go through the system to try to find out which one, ask anyone which one is better.
Right.
Any school, education is the same. We provide a quality education to all our students, so it doesn't matter. And that was one of the things that I looked for. I said that if I had to bring my grandchildren to Hale County schools, it shouldn't be that I have to try to decide which one. Wouldn't matter, because all schools are providing a quality education.
Wow.
And I'm proud to say that.
Well, that's good. Anything that you would like to let parents know to keep assuring them that what is happening here in Hale County school system is good, because in the Black Belt of Alabama we get that stigma. People saying that, it gets on my nerves, especially on national level. Oh, it's an impoverished area. Oh, it's rural. Oh. But then before you answer, I had a volunteer parish. I asked, she was on one of my shows and she just left, and she came down as a fellow. And one of the things she said in her closing, of her experience, is that being here in the Hale County school system killed every stigma that she was told before she got here. Wonderful. So, reassuring that, look in the camera, talk to your parents, and let them know what about Hale County school system.
Parents, we have an open door policy. Parents, we want you to come to our schools. We know a lot of times parents think that we don't want them at our schools. But we want you in our schools, and we don't want to see you just because we have a discipline issue that we have to deal with. We want you to be a part of the education of your children, because we want all of our students to be successful. And even though you might think that you don't have that much to offer or you can't do something, it's always something you can do just by showing up. That gives your child an inspiration that the parent was at the school. It also shows that you care, and there are different ways that you can show that you care. Just show up, and it will mean so much to the principals, the staff, to the superintendent, knowing that we have our parents supporting us. So please visit your child's school.
All right. Well, you heard it here. Ms. Osie Pickens, superintendent for Hale County School. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you.
It was great.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
This is another Too Cool production.